All right, let's do this. Um, had a fantastic night playing Hollow Cure. I I'm still stunned that I was able to get past stage one. Um, the comment that somebody made is like, they get harder. I was like going, I know they get harder, but I was having trouble, you know, my learning curve of the game. Um, I was just having trouble getting past stage one. Like I was like going, I didn't understand where they were coming from. Maybe it was not just like a criticism. It was just kind of like a observation. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm just like going. Of course, each stage is harder than the next. That's how games usually work. You know, if it got easier, people wouldn't play it. Um, yeah, if the game got easier, like I don't know, what might be, you know, intuitive to me is, you know, somebody else doesn't think that way, and they're definitely a better gamer than me. So, yeah, maybe I'm looking at it from like a simplicity standpoint, and they are looking at it from a complex standpoint. I don't know. I just don't know. But other, all right. I, as I've said a million times, and even once during this stream, I am not a gamer. Um, I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing about how games work and stuff like that. So I, like I said, because they came in, I am so proud of myself for um, finishing stage one. That it really is the epitome of this, of where I've been, where I'm going, how things work out. We're gonna relax for a little bit. We got some time. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I realized with going to stage two that it's definitely a different play style, and maybe somebody better. I'm gonna probably next time I play, I'm gonna probably play as Ollie. Um, and do targeted hits. You probably should. I didn't realize it was so hot today. But I am wearing this. Oh, so much better. Um, yeah, we got a lot of good things happening, and like I said, I can't let one person um kind of like, I don't know, I maybe they were giving good advice. I don't know. I don't know. Um, we I definitely feel, and tonight's an art stream. Let's talk about that. Um, like all over the freaking place. I have, I wasted is probably the wrong word to say. I have spent a lot of time working on the Q pool dancing, and um, it has been suggested that I stream it all, and it would have been an exercise in frustration, but at least people would know like what I've been doing, how I've been wasting my time. One of my favorite fish songs ever is "Waste," and I think I've even made a couple streams calling "Wasted Time." The last two beans was a colossal waste of time, so I'm using the word "waste" a lot. You don't care. Um, but I think it's definitely been noticed. I think it definitely has shown. And I know that the fact that I haven't been doing the beans lately, I haven't been getting more people coming in and following me. And I don't, causation is not necessarily correlation. So, or correlation is not necessarily causation. Um, but I definitely noticed it. My two people have left. I don't know how long they're going to be gone. Um, and again, it could just be two random people. It could be two different people every single time. It could be a whole mess of people. It could now be three people. It's the it really is the one thing that I don't like about YouTube and the subscriptions is that I don't know who's subscribing to me. There's an anonymousness that's um, I didn't realize when I started um, that I think that it doesn't help me do the connections that I'm trying to make. If that makes sense. Um, no, it's like getting really hot really quickly. Yeah, Q-Pool. I'm taking the advice that I'm given, and I'm not gonna destroy it all, which is what I wanted to do, and start over from scratch and redo the animation. And I have to stop thinking that other people are going to want this dance and think that it's just for me. Um, like popcorn, I built I built popcorn so that I can give other people the same animation, and I'm like going, why did I do that? Like, why? It makes no sense. And even money, I built money so that I can add other people to it. And it's like, I gotta stop doing, when I'm doing the animation, I gotta stop thinking, people, I'm gonna either chibi people or make people really tall. I gotta remember that I'm a fat little, I'm a fat little gremlin, and I gotta make it for the fat little gremlin. Ah, it definitely is. It's even too hot, even without the shirt on. Let's get some air in here. Could also check my time. It's time. Yeah, we can go. We can go. But so I really started working on the animation for the peanut butter jelly time. One of the good news about it is I made a bean from somebody in a banana suit, and that bean is the bassist. That's what I'm basically using to create it. And I am going to not only peanut butter jelly time is one of those, like, it's a really old meme. It was really funny when it came out. People have it as an emote. I've seen it. And it always brings, every time I hear that chant, I get kind of happy about it. So I'm literally, it is one of those things that, like, I wanna put in with my repertoire. My repertoire of emotes, especially animated emotes, and it's on the slate. I mean, that, moonwalking. There's a couple others that I really have to do. My rage. The rage emote is an emote that I'm, trying to figure it out. One of the things is, one of the good things about peanut butter jelly time is it loops. It's already built-in loop. Moonwalking is not. And if you stack them, I want it to be able to stack so that you can have a whole series, going across. It's one of the, I think it's a Pokemon called the Snome. People make Snome that basically like run across the screen. You can have a bunch of them. Moonwalking is going to be my first that does that. There's a whole mess of spider bean freaking emotes that I want to make. I'm actually considering taking out my pew pew, because I have the two animated Spider-Man emotes, one shooting the webs and the other one doing the famous Spider-Man kiss. I want to do a Q bean in space. I put the bean in an astronaut outfit, because that's one of my secret loves. I should say my not so secret loves. People who don't know or haven't been watching for a while, I was a big space person growing up. If they made trading cards, and I think they did, and I would have wished I had them, of the astronauts, I would have had them, collected them. I would have been a huge nerd about it. And instead I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. But huge into Star Trek, huge into Star Wars. Farscape, Firefly. Yeah, all of it. Even though I saw the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and I was like going, that's not so Star Wars. I'm sorry. You guys have the rights to the music. You need the music. And if John Williams is not conducting it, you gotta have the music. You gotta have it at least in the beginning and at the end. And I know that the Mandalorian has his own theme music. They didn't give Grogu. I don't think Grogu has his own theme music, which is kind of sad. I mean, hell, R2-D2 has his own. C-3PO has his own music. Other than Han Solo and Luke and Leia, all three of them have. Darth Vader has his own music. That's other than the march. The bum 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 bum. But I definitely need the opening drums. The chin 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 chin. Dun, da, da. Dun, da, 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 dun, 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 dun. And I need an opening scroll. I need the text to scroll up off the screen. to give me context. I don't need a big block put up. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Don't do that. And I'll be the first to admit that I watched A New Hope, probably, it's definitely double digits when it first came out. Back then, back in my day, back when I was here, we were a moviegoer, which people aren't really moviegoers anymore. But back when I was a moviegoer, you could sit in the movie theater and the movie would play like 4 or 5 times. So you can, for a matinee ticket, which I don't want to tell people how much that cost, but for a matinee ticket, you can literally sit in the movie theater for like 9-10 hours watching the same movie over and over again. When Star Wars came out, it wasn't like one and done. It didn't last. It wasn't like movies today where they're in the theater and they're out of the theater like before the month is over. It's one of the reasons why like I had to see Grogu the weekend it came out, because I didn't know how long it was going to stay in the movie theater. To put things in perspective, the reason that the most watched movie in history is Gone with the Wind is because, one, it was a nickel. That was before my time, but it was a nickel to see it. And two, it played for years. I think it played for 2 years. It was in movie theaters. Like when a movie won the Oscar, it was still in theaters. And yeah, movie houses were converted, freaking vaudeville stages, which were converted theaters and everything like that. And, they showed one movie. It wasn't, the multiplex didn't exist. And when I was growing up, I'm trying to think if, like, I think they showed several movies. I mean, drive-ins, which don't exist anymore. I mean, if they do, there's so few that I don't even know where one would be. But drive-ins, showed 2 movies. That's where the double feature, when Rocky Horror says, double feature, ooh, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about going to the drive-in. Those things don't exist anymore. But yeah, Star Wars when it came out, I'm trying to think, like, I don't even think my local theater was actually playing it. You had to go. I had to hop on a bus. To the theater that was actually playing it. I'm trying to think. Maybe. I had a movie theater that was like within walking distance of my place. I don't know if I should divulge where I grew up. It was very urban. How's that? Very urban, and we had a bus that took us everywhere we wanted to go. I'm dating myself. But yeah, no, there's expectations, and when you've seen the Star Wars movies as many times as I have, there's an expectation, there's a pre-expectation. But then again, I had an expectation for Force Awakens that Luke, Leia, and Han would be together, and I, talk about dashing my expectation as a fan. And then when the second movie came out, I was called a man baby, and I was just like, I guess I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore, because I'll own the man babiness. I'll own that the reason why George Lucas sold Lucasfilms was because I did not like the first three movies, which is Phantom Menace, Attack of the Killer Clones from Outer Space, and Revenge of the Sith. I did not view them poorly, but not for a second. I'm going to state this in as nice a way as possible. Not for a moment did I ever think that they weren't Star Wars movies. Just because I didn't like them doesn't mean that they didn't meet the standard of what I had in mind as what is Star Wars. The last three movies, Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. I've never even seen Rise of Skywalker, so I don't even know what that movie's even about, other than what I've heard. But I did see the second one, even though I was called a man baby, and they, sad to say, they had all the things that the Mandalorian and Grogu don't. I don't know why they need to take that shit out. Like, why ruin it? You have a new generation coming up. Why depart with tradition so much that it doesn't even resemble the property that you're doing? I'll tell you what the Mandalorian and Grogu did for me was they made me want to be a fan again. And not because they brought Luke back, and not because they brought Ashoka back, not because they brought all these characters that I'm familiar with back to have fun with and to do these things. And it's a world where Han Solo exists still. He's still alive. It is what it is. And I gotta get to work. Cool beans in the comments below. Doesn't have to be cool beans, but I appreciate it if it's cool beans because it lets me know that you've watched this all the way to this point. And you are unique. And I love you for it. I think that being unique is an amazing thing, and I think people should explore their uniqueness. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a fantastic time doing it. And I will talk to you tomorrow, and you can hear me ramble on about nonsense then. I'll tell you how the art went too. All right, take care.